Imagine standing on the edge of a glacier that may not exist in the next decade, or walking through an ancient city that could be closed to visitors forever. Around the world, there are breathtaking destinations that are vanishing, whether from climate change, over-tourism, or natural decay. In today's video, we're counting down the top 10 places you should see before they disappear. From sinking cities to melting ice caps, there are once-in-a-lifetime experiences you'll want to add to your bucket list now, before it's too late. So pack your bags, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into the world's most fragile and unforgettable destinations. Picture this: endless turquoise waters, coral reefs bursting with life, and beaches so white they look unreal. Welcome to the Maldives, a true paradise on Earth. But here's the heartbreaking truth: this paradise may not be here for much longer. The Maldives is the world's lowest lying country, sitting just 1.5 meters above sea level. With rising oceans caused by climate change, scientists warn that much of the Maldives could be underwater within the next century, and some islands are already disappearing. But the Maldives isn't just about picture-perfect beaches. It's a culture, a history, and a way of life for over 500,000 people. When you visit, you're not just experiencing luxury resorts. You're supporting local communities who are fighting to keep their homeland alive. Divers and snorkelers call it heaven. The coral reefs here host some of the richest marine biodiversity on the planet. But warming oceans are bleaching and killing those reefs, which means if you've ever dreamed of swimming with manta rays or exploring vibrant coral gardens, the best time to do it is now. So why should you see the Maldives before they disappear? Because it's not just a vacation. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to witness a fragile paradise, one that may not exist for future generations. And by visiting responsibly, you can help support conservation efforts and the people who call these islands home. The Maldives is a paradise, but paradise isn't forever. Don't wait too long. Towering cliffs, cascading waterfalls, and deep blue waters that look like they were carved by giants. Welcome to the Norwegian fjords, one of the most breathtaking landscapes on Earth. But if you've ever dreamed of visiting, the time to go is now. The fjords were created by retreating glaciers thousands of years ago, but today, those glaciers are melting at alarming rates. Scientists predict that many of Norway's glaciers could vanish by the end of the century. Without them, the landscape of the fjords, the very thing that makes them so iconic, will never look the same. Beyond their beauty, the fjords are a playground for adventure. Kayaking through glassy waters, hiking trails with jaw-dropping views, and staying in villages that feel frozen in time. But rising popularity means more cruise ships, more traffic, and more strain on these fragile environments. Norway has already begun limiting access in some areas to protect them. Garangafjord and Gjerafjord are even UNESCO World Heritage Sites. They've been called the most beautiful fjords in the world. But with increased regulation and the effects of climate change, visiting them in their raw, untouched state is something future travelers may never experience. The Norwegian fjords are more than just scenery. They're a glimpse into Earth's history and a reminder of how fragile our natural wonders really are. Go now before they're changed forever. Whitewashed houses, endless blue seas, and sunsets so beautiful they stop you in your tracks. Santorini, Greece is one of the most iconic islands in the world. But if you've ever dreamed of going, now is the time. Why the urgency? Because Santorini is facing over-tourism. Each summer, millions of visitors flood the island. many arriving on cruise ships for just a few hours. The result? Narrow streets packed shoulder to shoulder, rising costs for locals, and growing pressure on the island's fragile infrastructure. But Santorini isn't just about famous Instagram spots. Beyond the crowds, there are ancient ruins, volcanic beaches, family-owned wineries, and traditional villages where time seems to stand still. Visiting now and visiting responsibly means you can still experience this authentic side of the island. Another reason not to wait? The future of tourism here is changing. Authorities are already talking about limiting cruise ship arrivals and restricting access to certain areas to protect the island, which means the Santorini experience you've seen in photos may never be the same again. Santorini is magical, but it's also fragile. Visit now, experience it fully, and do your part to help keep this paradise alive for generations to come. Hidden high in the Andes, surrounded by clouds and mystery, sits Machu Picchu, the lost city of the Incas. It's one of the most iconic archaeological sites in the world. But here's the thing. If you've ever dreamed of visiting, you need to go now. Machu Picchu is facing a serious challenge: over-tourism. Millions of travelers arrive every year, and the constant foot traffic is slowly wearing down the fragile stone pathways and ancient terraces. To protect the site, Peru has already placed strict daily limits on visitors, and even stricter rules are expected in the future. But it's not just the crowds. Climate change and heavy rainfall are also threatening the stability of these ancient structures. Landslides are becoming more common, and parts of the surrounding landscape are increasingly fragile. Visiting Machu Picchu now doesn't just give you the chance to see one of the new 7 wonders of the world. It also helps support the communities and culture of the Andes. From Cusco to the Sacred Valley, every journey here connects you with a history that's thousands of years old. Machu Picchu is a wonder that has lasted for centuries, but it won't last forever. Experience its magic and witness one of humanity's greatest achievements before the world changes it forever. On a remote chain of islands in Indonesia lives one of the most fascinating and fearsome creatures on Earth, the Komodo dragon. And there's only one place in the world where you can see them in the wild. That's Komodo Island. But if you want to experience it, time to go is now. Komodo dragons are the largest lizards on the planet, growing up to 10 feet long. But their population is vulnerable, with only a few thousand left in the wild. Conservation efforts are underway, but rising tourism, climate change, and habitat loss are putting pressure on their survival. To protect this fragile ecosystem, the Indonesian government has already proposed restrictions on tourism, including closing parts of Komodo Island or charging very high entrance fees. The window to see these creatures in their natural habitat before access becomes more limited is closing. But Komodo isn't just about dragons. It's home to world-class diving, pristine coral reefs, and one of the rarest sights on Earth, the pink sand beaches. It's a destination where raw nature meets adventure. Komodo Island is wild, rare, and unforgettable, but it won't stay that way forever. If you've ever dreamed of standing face to face with a real-life dragon, you need to go now. Few places on Earth feel as wild and untouched as the Galapagos Islands. This remote archipelago, 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador, is a living museum of evolution. But while it's one of the most unique ecosystems in the world, it's also one of the most fragile. The Galapagos is home to creatures you won't find anywhere else: giant tortoises, blue-footed boobies, and marine iguanas that swim like tiny dragons. It was here that Charles Darwin developed his theory of evolution. But climate change, invasive species, and human impact are putting this delicate balance at risk. Tourism here is tightly regulated to protect the islands, but even with strict rules, the pressure from visitors is growing. Stricter limits on access may come in the near future, meaning the chances to see the Galapagos in its raw, authentic state may not last forever. But visiting now, responsibly, has a purpose. Tourism helps fund conservation projects, supports local communities, and ensures these islands remain protected. By going, you're not just witnessing rare wildlife, you're helping to preserve it. The Galapagos isn't just a destination, it's a once-in-a-lifetime journey into the heart of nature's greatest masterpiece. See it now and be a part of the effort to keep it alive for future generations. Towering waterfalls, black sand beaches, erupting volcanoes, and glaciers that stretch to the horizon. Iceland feels less like a country and more like another planet. But if you've ever dreamed of going, you need to go soon. Iceland's natural wonders are breathtaking, but many of them are changing fast. Glaciers here are melting at one of the fastest rates in Europe. In just the last 20 years, Iceland has lost over 7% of its total ice. Scientists predict that some of its smaller glaciers could completely disappear within decades. And it's not just nature. Iceland has become one of the hottest travel destinations in the world, with millions of visitors every year. Over-tourism is starting to take its toll, especially on fragile landscapes that can be damaged just by footsteps. But the magic of Iceland isn't gone. From soaking in natural hot springs to exploring lava fields and chasing the northern lights, it's still possible to experience Iceland's raw, untouched beauty, if you go now, and travel responsibly. Iceland is the land of fire and ice, but its ice is melting, and its landscapes are under pressure. Go before it changes forever. Imagine a world underwater, bursting with color, life, and wonder. Welcome to the Great Barrier Reef, the largest coral reef system on the planet, stretching over 1,400 miles. But this natural wonder is in danger, and the time to see it is now. The Great Barrier Reef is facing one of the biggest threats in its 25 million year history: coral bleaching caused by rising ocean temperatures. Over the past few decades, large sections of the reef have already died. Scientists warn that if global warming continues at its current pace, much of the reef could vanish within decades. But there's still hope, and a reason to go now. By visiting responsibly, you're supporting conservation efforts that protect the reef, fund marine research, and help local communities. Seeing it now means experiencing its incredible biodiversity before some areas are lost forever. The Great Barrier Reef isn't just about coral. It's about a vibrant underworld where every dive or snorkel reveals something extraordinary. Turtles gliding gracefully, colorful fish weaving through coral gardens, and manta rays performing a silent dance beneath the waves. The Great Barrier Reef is a living masterpiece, but it won't stay this way forever. Dive in now, witness its beauty, and help protect it for generations and generations to come. Temples, centuries old, neon-lit cities, serene cherry blossom gardens, and culinary delights that dazzle the senses. Japan is a country where tradition and modernity exist side by side. Japan's natural and cultural experiences are seasonal and fleeting. Cherry blossom season lasts only a few weeks each year. Autumn leaves paint landscapes for a short window, and some rural festivals are at risk of fading as younger generations move to cities. Beyond the city lights, Japan's countryside and cultural heritage are also under pressure. Over-tourism in popular spots like Kyoto is changing the atmosphere, while environmental shifts affect places like Hokkaido's delicate alpine landscapes and Okinawa's beaches. Visiting Japan now means experiencing its beauty and traditions before some of these moments become rare. From intimate tea ceremonies to remote mountain hikes, the country still offers authentic experiences for those who seek them. Japan is timeless, yet some of its most magical experiences are fleeting. If it's on your bucket list, don't wait. Visit now, witness its wonders, and make memories that last a lifetime. Romantic canals, historic palaces, and art that spans centuries. Venice is one of the most iconic cities in the world. But this floating city is fragile, and if you've ever dreamed of visiting, you better go now. Venice is facing two major challenges: climate change and over-tourism. Rising sea levels and increasingly frequent floods are slowly threatening the city's foundations. At the same time, millions of visitors pour in each year, putting pressure on narrow streets, historic buildings, and the local way of life. But Venice is more than just a tourist spot. Beyond St. Mark's Square, there are hidden canals, centuries-old artisan workshops, and quiet corners where you can experience the city like locals have for generations. Visiting responsibly now means you can see this authentic Venice before it becomes even harder to access. Authorities are already introducing measures to limit large cruise ships and overcrowding, which means parts of Venice may eventually become off-limits to casual tourists. Experiencing the city today is your chance to see it in its true magical form. Venice is a city like no other, but it's fragile and changing fast. Savor its beauty and witness a timeless city before it's altered forever. These 10 incredible destinations are more than just beautiful places. They are fragile, rare, and changing faster than ever. From melting glaciers and endangered reefs to ancient cities under pressure from over-tourism, the window to experience them in their full glory is closing. But the good news is, we still have a chance. By visiting responsibly, supporting local communities, and appreciating their beauty while we can, we help preserve these wonders for future generations. So what are you waiting for? Pack your bags, chase adventure, and witness some of the most breathtaking places on earth before they change forever. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next journey to the world's most incredible destinations. Which of these places is on the top of your bucket list? Let us know in the comments below.